Publishers and their legal team say that police have still not explained the nature of the charges against Pauw. Joining us now on the line is the attorney for NB Publishers, Willem de Klerk. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the program. You must be following this case quite carefully as the legal counsel. First of all, have NB Publishers are they facing any kind of litigation at this stage, or is it all to do with the author and the former security agent?
Hi, good evening. Look, we don't at this stage know much more than what the media already knows. I'm not aware of any pending litigation against either the civil litigation against the publisher or Mr. Pauw. We heard about the charges that had been laid at the Lyttleton Police Station through the media today, and I have been trying to establish details about those charges and whether indeed Mr. Pauw is a suspect in the matter or whether he is regarded as a potential witness, and what exactly the charges are that may be under investigation. So that's where we are really. We've managed to make contact with the head of organised crime, Major General Edwaba, today. I have had a discussion with her, and we will be sending her written communication in the morning where we seek further details.
All right, so when Jacques Pauw was writing this book and you representing the publishers would already before the book was published have had conversations about some of the information in there, are you confident that no line was crossed or that maybe there's some grey areas but you decided to go ahead anyway?
Look, I mean, we considered very carefully the legislation that are in place, and also the nature of the information that Mr. Pauw disclosed in his book. And it is our opinion that whatever is published in the book is of immense public interest and was lawfully published.
All right, so you're not clear about the charges, but they're talking about, and it sounds as if it's this thing about a former security agent passing on information to Jacques Pauw, and I suppose by publishing it, he's aiding and abetting as an accomplice. So the security agent himself is guilty of what he's not allowed to do, is pass on information, but I suppose Jacques Pauw, knowing that this information shouldn't be published, publishing it, could open him up for some kind of censure.
Peter, I wouldn't like to comment on that at this stage. We really don't even know what exactly the nature of the investigation is. We don't really know whether Mr. Pauw is considered a suspect. So it would not be appropriate for me to start debating the merits or demerits of whatever charges there may be at this stage.
So the state has deep pockets, and Jacques was saying that it looks like, this is the kind of thing that could be in the courts for 3 years. Could this become a costly affair?
Well, it might. Litigation, whether civil or criminal, is always a costly affair. But I must say that the publisher has been standing behind Mr. Pauw all along, and we've had immense support from civil society and many individuals pledging their support. So I would hope that we would have access to necessary resources.
Do you think that this case might set some precedent for future cases about public interests, how far journalists can go, and exposing corruption that perhaps state institutions might say this is secret? Yes,
certainly. Certainly, there's certainly a constitutional argument that can be made, where legislation prohibits the disclosure of certain information which is clearly of public interest and which evidences wrongdoing and criminal conduct. So certainly this could become a precedent-setting matter.
All right, okay, so I suppose we have to wait until we get a little bit more clarity on the charges. So we'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. That was Willem de Klerk, who's an attorney representing NB Publishers, the publishers of Jacques Pauw's book, The President's Keeper.